Hello everyone, this is Greyshot17.
And 151 here.
And we are doing a review on Wind River, a 2017 film that...
Made by the guy behind Hell or High Water.
Yeah. So, here's a question for you, and just a small one. Goddamn, so you had Jeremy Renner, you have Elizabeth
The guy
Olsen,
that plays Hawkeye.
Yes, and we won't say anyone else for right now.
The woman who plays Scarlet Witch.
Yes. So... they're both in this film.
They are.
And one person's a really, really good shot, and the other person's new-ish to this whole crime-fighting business. Man, they're going really far. I'm kidding. That's probably as much as comparison as you can get.
Without going into too much spoilers, the basic premise is an incident occurs in a reservation area, the Wind River Reserve.
Wyoming.
Yes.
Yeah.
During spring, but there's still like a ton of snow and it's freezing cold.
Yep.
So a hunter and an FBI agent essentially come together to solve it.
Yeah.
And this sounds very cliche, and let me tell you, you're not wrong to a certain extent.
Yeah.
But it's not about the story is probably there are elements that are very cliche.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong. But
the
execution is what really makes this film, and goddamn, every execution. Both in the camera to work and everything that dies, really good.
The music is haunting when it needs to be,
or almost embracing.
Yeah, and it can turn on a dime. Like situations can get very intense very quickly, or not so much.
Yeah.
They know when to kind of push things and when not to. It's really, really good, and yeah, it's hard to like just talk about it, but it's brutal. It is very, I don't say realistic, but just gritty. I would probably say it's a good terminology.
It's very much grounded and not grounded as oh my god dark. It's just this feels like a camera was following. Like you could see these people being alive. Like even Elizabeth Olsen, who very much looks like the stereotype of an FBI agent, very much becomes her own character.
Yes.
And the Jeremy Renner, I think, steals the show in this.
Oh yeah.
While he is every actor, big or small, brings a very good game.
There's only one other actor I would say that literally like had my jaw dropped, and we're not going to talk about him or her right now.
Let me just say, when you see him, you'll know.
Or her.
Yes. You'll know. But no, yeah, this movie, the characters are all fleshed out, and not by exposition. It's just their motives, what happens. There's a little bit of exposition.
Yeah.
But it's very much, it's about these characters in different situations, all coming together.
Yep.
And it works so well.
Yeah.
If
you're looking for like a good mystery, you got it. You're going for like even a northern. I would even consider like
I wouldn't say a mystery. I would say
tension. Thriller. No, not thriller.
I would say if you like crime dramas.
Yes.
This is a little bit of mystery, but not too much, I would say.
It's by the way, the writing in this movie, fantastic. Like there are certain scenes where it's just either very little dialogue, or when there is a lot of dialogue, it's not dumb and cumbersome unless it needs to be. Everything is playing up, and even certain characters are certain characters like, oh my god, it's like, really, you're doing that? But it pays off. It seriously does pay off. And while I can say the story and overall the mystery aspect is maybe not as deep as I really wanted it to be,
it's just the crime that occurs.
Yes.
It impacts everyone in different ways, and it works so well.
The extent of the crime and how it affects the
FBI, the Jeremy Renner's character, all of them. It's in different ways, and it's understandable how it is. There are actions that you even made note of, like, hey, they actually got it right for once in regards to what officers have to deal with. And as an officer, you've experienced these things, and you understand what the actual real-life process is. Like, for instance, like getting DNA. It's not like instantaneous. It takes a while. Like, little stuff like that. It very much helps flesh out this movie and make it feel more, I don't even say grounded, it just makes it feel like realistic is the better term.
Yeah. So we're going to go into spoilers because we really want to go into some things.
Yep.
This movie, we don't want to say
go into
more.
this. Listen, to be 100% honest, when I first started watching this movie, I'm not even lying.
Okay.
I thought it was a monster movie. Because the opening, there's an opening, and I honestly was thinking, oh my god, because there's the tracks.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is a monster movie.
Well, there's a lot of monsters in this movie.
Yes, there is, but
there's a lot of terrible people.
Yes, but then I realized I was kind of taken aback because I didn't know. I never saw any trailers. Oh. I didn't see anything. This movie really caught me off guard. I was like,
yeah,
I'm so happy I didn't see a damn thing about this movie because it's so good.
So we're gonna rate it. What would you give this movie?
I would give it a solid. I would give it an 8.5 out of 10.
I'm gonna punch you. Stop going with these halves. I broke at like 1 to 5 to 1 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
Stay there.
8.75. No, I'm kidding. I would give it an 8, and here's why.
Yeah,
I would give it an 8 because there are some moments that have you like, huh? Like that maybe give you a little bit of a question.
Yeah,
the mystery isn't there, and it kind of focuses on the mystery a little too much for it not to be a mystery movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I will say, while most of the characters bring their A game, there are some that are kind of okay. Like, they're just adequate. They don't bring anything special, but I don't think they could do anything special with the roles they were given. And, again, I kind of knew where this was going.
Do you think this is worth a 9? Again, with what it was, and very few nitpicks that we can actually give it. We'll have to probably go into spoilers to get further into the nitpicks.
That's me. What is your critique?
Mine is a 9.
Okay.
Because, yes, the story's something I have seen before, and there's like
that was my biggest
there's an
draw.
issue here or there involving story. It never pulled me out. If anything, I was so invested with these characters by the end that that climax was amazing. So I could not I could not have I could not have enjoyed this more.
My major note in regards to why I rate it a little bit lower is because, again, this is a little bit cliche in regards to some aspects, but the execution nails it. This movie is executed so well. Every shot, every scene, like the painting shots especially, are beautiful. I would I'm giving it an 8, but I would recommend a 9 for the channel.
Okay.
Because other people are going to be like, how could you say that? I'm just like,
it's your own personal taste rather than that you can respect the movie.
But
I'm glad that I brought you to this, and you're like, oh god, and you enjoyed it.
I knew it was
the second film in a row I've sent him to.
I knew it would be good. I just didn't expect it to be that good.
Yeah. So we're now in spoilers, which means if you haven't seen the movie, go see it now.
Jeremy Renner.
Come back.
Yes.
And then enjoy this part.
Jeremy Renner is a badass.
He plays badass. Corey Lambert. Who's, by the way, his scene with the father of the daughter. By the way, the victim is
every scene with them
is fantastic.
It's powerful.
Yes.
It's saddening.
Yes.
It's which, by the way, give major props to that actor. Again, he pulled.
It's funny because I couldn't remember his name, and as soon as he started murdering people, I'm like, oh, Jeremy Renner. I don't know why. It's just as soon as he murdered the first guy, I'm like, oh, Jeremy Renner.
Because Hawkeye was the mass murderer of the Avengers, apparently.
Apparently.
Elizabeth Olsen also, she is done extremely well.
But there's a scene. She is shot with a shotgun, point blank, flies, and falls back and hits the ground. She's
in shock.
She has a vest on, so it absorbed most of it. She has a couple hits. You can see a little bit of blood. But god damn, there's a scene similar to Saving Private Ryan where the knife scene. Well, change that with 2 guys loading a gun and they both see each other, and it's them just loading it every single part, pulling the clip back, and at the exact open fire. It's that level of just like
brutal.
I'm gonna kill, and the guy while doing this like I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you, you son of a bitch. And it's like going through.
If it's the
last thing I do, and it's awesome.
Brutal.
It's awesome.
Every time there's action, it's worth it.
Yes.
Like, it's brief, but it is intense.
Speaking of which,
well done. And by the way,
John Bernthal's in this.
Oh my god, yeah, that was the biggest surprise.
That was the biggest. John Bernthal. I literally go like, what?
It took me a second. I'm not gonna lie.
The Punisher, aka the guy from The Walking Dead, aka the guy that now pops up in movies.
Side tangent. He reminds me, again, with his haircut and everything. Yeah. There's a guy by the name of Chris that I work with. Oh my god, he looked. I'm not gonna lie. He could probably pass as that guy.
Yes.
He was. I was like, Wow.
Because this entire time you hear the victim, which was this native.
It was this a girl.
Yeah,
Emily.
Someone from the reservation. Emily. Anyway, she. Oh,
I think.
Anyway, the victim. Unfortunately, she
got.
That
was the daughter.
Again, this is why we have the backup. Natalie.
Natalie.
Not Emily. Emily was the person who was hit. Jeremy Renner's. By the way, Jeremy Renner has a daughter who died
mysteriously.
Mysteriously, he doesn't know. So, and he like suffered through grief and eventually got divorced. And by the way, I thought she was dead by the way that like the picture was. I'm like, oh, she's dead. And then it's like, is everything ready? It's like, oh, she's alive. And then especially when they say Casey, I'm like, oh, Casey, you know. And then the guy, he has a son, comes down and like, oh, yeah.
I honestly thought it was like, wait, she looks pretty young. Oh, that's a son. Sorry.
Which, by the way, the son and the ex-wife are in this film, but it's
very
not
briefly.
the main...
It's not their focus.
Yeah.
This is not the story of them. This is the story primarily of essentially the two guys. Like I mean, the gentleman that actually lost his daughter in this movie. I mean, actually, you see her die.
By the way, Jeremy. Yeah, go ahead.
She didn't, or he. It's kind of that story in regards to Jeremy dealing with the death through through Natalie's death.
Him finding closure through a friend who is going through the exact same circumstance because their two daughters were friends. She died, and she was still alive. And
Natalie's the one
dead.
that tried to help in that regard.
And they found her. He found her. She was out in the. She had no shoes on, no gloves. She was out like. I think the closest thing was like 3 miles or something. Like it was 3 miles away and 5.5 to another place. Mm-hmm. One being like a drug house and one being a drilling area.
Yeah.
So anyway, they were just seemed like, okay, why was she running out here? What's going on? And then there was a contusion on her head, and it looked like she was sexually assaulted.
Yep.
But the weird thing about it is the fact that the coroner is like, no, this isn't homicide. It's like, she has a contusion to her head. It looks like she's been forcefully
raped.
Raped. And also, she's freezing cold with no shoes. Yeah, she won it. And she had, by the way, she had no drugs in her system. So yeah, she willingly walked with no shoes and no gloves in a blizzard miles from anywhere around.
That had me mad. I was like, he's involved. Yeah. And I think that's the point of this, that his character is, he's just trying to do the honest work. And the sheriff even says, he's a good guy. Like, he's just doing what he forced.
But my note is like,
still, kind of, again, that's my
note. Oh, yeah, she just happened to walk out. That's like, you don't have to be like, it was like, die. It's like, what is it? There's all sorts of stuff you can rule someone as. Yes, the cause of death was freezing to death. But was it... Is it suspicious
That's
causes?
Like the guy from,
yes! Fuck yes!
That's like the guy from Fargo.
Yeah.
When he dies in the very first episode.
The exact same thing!
That's not natural. The guy doesn't run out buck naked into the woods. It's like, no.
He has like a boxers on. I would have named that exact same thing. They rolled in Fargo, homicide. And it's just like, alright. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. Kind of. A lot.
Yeah.
Otherwise... The action is good. Again, we make note of this, Jon Bernthal's character.
Oh my god.
I won't even ruin it because it's so good in the movie.
Yeah.
But you can...
If the Punisher, instead of settling down with his family, decided to take a private military job at a drilling site, I could see it. That's how he was. I'm like, this is Jon Bernthal. And then he starts fighting people. It's like, this is the Punisher. This is an alternate version of the Punisher. And by the way, in case you're, because again, the daughter was dating someone, and it's like, okay, maybe it was at the drug place. Well, after a situation there, it turns like, no, they didn't even know about it. So it's like, all right.
That leads them to the boyfriend, which is a guy by the name of Matt, who they do discover dead.
Yeah.
But you don't see his face. You just see the back of it. You basically just see the bruised back of him.
And Jon Bernthal.
By the way, you don't even know.
This. I'm sorry. He's not going to talk. I'm going to talk because I love this part. He fights. What, six guys?
Yeah.
6 guys by himself. He gets knocked out. He gets back up and just
hammers.
All 6 guys have to hold him down.
And there's
a moment where he knows he's going to die. He knows it. He looks at Natalie and says, go. And then
doesn't even
you
say
can
it.
see he literally grabs one guy and is like about to like wring his neck. The main villain that you find in this, the main guy who raped the girl when he knocked her out as well and started raping her, and then John Bertha woke up and just tackles him and 3 other people down,
hammering on him.
Yeah,
with all the brute force he can do, and you see it. He is bloody. He did not get out of that fight easy-handed.
No, you see these guys roll up and talk to police, and each and every one of them has a bruise or a black eye or something. You're like,
something happened.
I'm thinking my idea was the fight. There was a fight between all of them because I'm like, yeah, no offense, nothing. She's 18 years old. This Natalie. I'm like, there's no way this girl fought this many guys. I know she was tough and she walked 6 miles in the freezing cold.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between endurance and strength. John Bernthal, I see walk. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, he fought with everything he had, and the brief moment that he has with Natalie is very convincing. And that last shot, him looking at Natalie, just says it all, and it works so well. And that way, when you cut and you basically see all these guys die, you're celebrating.
Yeah.
When spoiler, Jeremy Renner fucking just murders them all with his rifle, just taking one out of shot.
And he had bulletproof armor. They're like, I got this. Boom.
He just goes flying. Yeah. It goes flying through because, again, he has a high-powered rifle. Yeah. It's meant to kill... I'm guessing it's buckshot or something. It's meant to kill animals like that.
And it is awesome.
Yeah, these guys went down like dogs.
It is a slow burn, but it's so good.
When the guy that did it, that like raped her, dies...
Jeremy Renner, he runs off. He leaves his buddies behind, like, fuck this, and bucks it into the wilderness. I'm like, oh, he's going to freeze to death. But Jeremy's like, it's like, nope. He leaves Elizabeth Olsen, makes sure she's okay, goes out, hunts him, like so many other animals he goes and hunts, knocks him out, puts him on top of a goddamn mountain,
and says, good luck.
The mountain is 6 miles that way, and the guy has no shoes on. And it's like, Natalie ran 6 miles, and she was a fighter. You won't make it 600 yards. And
he makes it like
300. He doesn't even make it 600 yards. He makes it probably 100, maybe 50. Like, if I'm, like, being really conservative.
I just like the idea that all behind him, there were just all these people, like, with, like, little lottery sticks, like, who's got the 50? We have 50 yards. 50 yards to Mrs. Jenkinson from down the road. Congratulations. Like, that was, he died pitifully, and he's the one guy this year so far I've enjoyed watching.
I love when...
Because it's so, again, totally worth it in the payoff to the movie. Because he basically dies just like Natalie, and it's...
But here's the thing, though. When Jeremy Renner goes back and tells the father, it's like, there's still one missing. He's like, he's not missing. And the father, you could see the relief on the father's eyes. Like, how'd he go? And I'm like...
With a whimper.
And that's like, oh.
So good. But also, I will make note.
Yeah.
He ain't going to be found. Because they make note, like, that mountain, even in the summer, has a foot of snow on it.
Yeah.
Which is just like... Oh, he's going to be part of the mountain. Hope he likes the cold, being alone and whatnot. Because, again, it works so well.
Oh, yeah, this guy complains, like... I'm alone and there's no one here. He came back from a fucking bar. John Bernthal picked up Natalie from a bar and was happy. And
I don't think a bar because she was 18. I'm not sure about Wyoming, but I'm pretty sure they found some way.
Let's be honest. If she was at a drug place, she's probably lying about something.
Okay, true.
So if John Bernthal goes into town and picks up her, which by the way, it may seem a little weird for the age, but when they're two together, you actually believe that they want to go do something like
together.
Good.
They love each other. Yeah, it's very convincing. But I guess we meandered on too long.
Oh, and there's also a scene getting pepper sprayed, and every moment I'm like,
yep,
I remember that. I remember that. I remember that. Ow.
Yeah, again, having him as like a witness to all these events in regards to like, oh yeah, that is what happened.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's kind of hilarious.
The scene with like, and Elizabeth Olsen's just fighting through, and she's heavily blinking, trying to get through. I'm like, yep. And she like stops herself from clawing her eyes. I'm like, yup. Because if you rub it in, it makes it a lot worse.
Yep. So again, we highly recommend you seeing this movie. Go see it. It's worth it. If you don't want to, you just finished seeing it. Go see The Wind Runner.
It's funny because we were gonna see it like 2 weeks ago, but it's like, nah, we're busy. And then we see it, and we're like, oh my god, that was amazing.
Yep.
But yeah, go see it. In any case, it's been Greyshot 117
and 151,
and with probably doing our next review, which is going to be finally Death Note.
Do we have to?
Yes.
God
yes, we do.
It.